Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Light Prison Wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping, because you got to hold your breath for justice. To see justice before all face to bleed. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Anyways, guys, I am coming through today on August 10th, 2025. Um, the reason I'm trying to come through, like literally, this is take 5. Is the enemy does not want me to touch this story for some reason, but I get a lot of friction. Like any time I'm trying to record, it's always the most. It's always something that stops the video. If I get a good take, it didn't record, or there was no audio, or it's so pixelated you can't see it, or there's interruption after interruption. It's like, it's so hard to get through all of this. And then I do, and then it doesn't give me the desired ending is to break this freaking story so I can move on. I know I have to move on without breaking the story, but I just want to break this story. And I also want to help others that are in this impossible situation. But it's so, the enemy is fighting tooth and nail. He don't want these innocent people to be out of prison. Like, he does not want that. He wants injustice. And this is why he fights me so hard, because I'm telling the truth. And you know they don't like the truth. They can't handle the truth. But this is for entertainment and educational purposes. The video that we're going to watch is in fair use. I'm going to review it from my POV, right? Of someone who actually, like, a lot of times you can't understand, but I am an advocate for someone, a close loved one that has been wrongfully incarcerated for decades, over half of my life, over half of his life. So I can understand on the level to what this mother feels like to fight for your son. But see, that's a different too. A wife and then a mother. Those are two different relationships. So I know the standpoint from a wife, which is secondary to the standpoint from a mother. From a mother fighting that long for your child. So her battle is harder, it's elevated, it's more escalated than mine, because your child, and then just for him to finally get out of that impossible. This is why it's so impossible, because I'm sure she fought and fought and fought and was cut off at every turn. It takes so long because it's so much stuff obstructing justice, allegedly. Is more than just the system does not put out justice, allegedly. But then you also got an enemy that's enforcing the system that's not giving justice. So it's all fortified, and it's hard to bring that down. And I understand now. I can't get everybody out of there, that's innocent. I can't even get my husband, but at least wanted my husband out. But I don't know. It's so hard. I wish this was something that the public really cared about, because we could get this changed. But unfortunately, we just don't. It doesn't affect us, so we don't care. And that's why her struggle was so long, because the non-support, the first people think you're lying. They don't want to hear the story. They want you to talk about something else, because clearly you just move on when your loved one snatched out your life. I don't know. So let's listen to this. And I pray to God that this records, because this is the 5th time. After this, I'm not trying no more. So attorney Benjamin Crump just walked the mother of Lenard Cure, Mary, up to the podium.
You want to stay here? Okay.
You stay ready to stay. Okay. Everybody set? Are you all ready? Thank you all for your patience. This day has been a long time coming.
Long time.
A long time coming.
And I could tell you why it take a long time. Y'all can look at me and see why it takes a very long time. You can't get no traction on this stuff. You can't get no support. You're going to need an army. I can't even get an ally.
I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Harry Daniels and Attorney Sue Ann Robinson and Attorney Gabrielle Higgins and Georgia NAACP President Griggs. We have the honor of representing the family of Leonard Cure.
I've never seen anything.
Sad. Trying to skip it. Yeah, I do need to give this up. I don't, it's just when I need to give up, I wait too late to give up. Just like my husband's case, I should have gave this up a long time ago, over 20 years ago. How do you wait until you're 23 years down the line and then want to give up? Just as my YouTube, I should have gave that up long time ago. I wait this long, then decide, oh, it won't work. Like, it's like I don't get the hints at the beginning that, hey, it's not going to work out, so just give up now. No, I keep pressing, and then it doesn't work out years and years later.
Georgia NAACP President Griggs. We have the honor of representing the family of Leonard Cure. We have his sisters and brothers present with us. Tina, Maria, his brothers, Wallace and Michael. And most importantly, we have his mama, Mary.
Beautiful woman. And she did all those 16 years with her son. It is not just the one that's wrongfully, they don't just wrongfully incarcerate that person. In the last video that didn't record, strategically didn't record because I pushed record and the enemy blocked me on the other side. We read that there is it is estimated from 1 to 10% of convictions in this country that are wrongful convictions, mean innocent people. But remember, we're a country of mass incarceration. So that mass, 1 to 10% of that mass is a whole heck of a lot of people. And I noticed the only people getting alleviated from their wrongful convictions are the people represented by Innocence Project. Well, Innocence Project can't take on that mountain. Do you know how many people are really wrongfully incarcerated? Like, they can't do it all. They don't have the resources. It's not that they wouldn't want to. They just can't. It's supposed to be through the courts. You're supposed to have your day of court. Remember, y'all say, take it to court. Don't handle it on your own. Handle it your day in court. And what do you get in court? Allegedly. What did I get? What did my husband get his day in court? He got screwed over. He got done wrongfully. And he got wrongfully incarcerated after his day in court. So what is the answer to this? Because it's not going to stop. It's the way that they do these cases. It's the way they do them. And if you watch my channel any length of time, you know that I believe, my opinion, that wrongful convictions are purposeful.
This is her day. She has fought for justice for her son his whole life.
That is sad. Wrongfully incarcerated and then wrongfully deleted.
And she's been fighting for justice after they killed him. And she will not stop until we get justice for Leonard Kerr.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so happy, Miss Mary, because I know how long you fought for your baby to get.
It shouldn't take this long, y'all. It shouldn't take decades to get an innocent person out. They'll let a guilty person go before they let an innocent person go.
Some measure of justice.
Well, a lot of people think that it just happened after he was killed, but we had 16 and a half years of him being incarcerated for false conviction. So it started a long time ago.
That's a wear and tear on your family.
Yes, ma'am. And she said she been fighting even when he was wrongfully incarcerated for 16 and a half years.
In the state of Florida, the same state my husband is wrongfully incarcerated in. Yep. That's why they don't want to, that's why when we advocate no reform, because we don't want to see our mess.
And so we should start there. We want to thank the Innocence Project. I have the pleasure of being on their board with Seth Miller, Barry Scheck, and so many other great lawyers who fight for people who have been wrongfully convicted. And many of them because they happen.
He about to tell the whole truth. This is why they're wrongfully convicted.
Be a certain color and be in the wrong place at the wrong time,
exactly.
Which was absolutely what happened to Mary's son.
And Marcello being the wrong color. Marcello was in a car with 3 white tee guys. Marcello, my husband, is BLK. He is the only one. All 3 white tee guys were let go. Never spent a day in jail on this. Marcello spent the last 23 years of his life for an alleged crime, fabricated crime that never happened. But they say it's not about that. But how do you ignore that you let all 3, even though everyone in the car should have been a suspect, you should have eliminated each one. You shouldn't have just let the 3 YT guys go and take only the BLK guy, because the YT guy said, oh, he tried to rob us. Okay, YT guy, we're going to take your word for it, because we know you're not trying to cover your butt. And that's it. Case closed. Done.
Leonard in Broward County, Florida. And Attorney Daniels is so mind-boggling. From day one, Leonard said, you got the wrong person. You got the wrong person. I got proof.
And it be aligning. Watch what he's about to say. It's so much more proof that the person didn't do it than that they did do it. But they get them convicted off of nothing. All the wrongful convictions that I covered, there's no tangible evidence linking the person to the crime.
I got exculpatory evidence that can prove.
Exculpatory evidence. Remember, they cut the hole in the map. I know I got some people that have been following me, that have been watching me. Exculpatory evidence. A case is like a map. You're going to arrive to your verdict at the end. What they do is they cut holes in your map to try to throw you off course so that you arrive to the verdict that they desire you arrive to. Cutting holes is deleting exculpatory evidence. That is the first thing to go. And then they give you a one-sided case. A case is like a cube, a 3D object. There are so many different factors, so many different sides. They take every side out and leave you that one flat version of the story. Only inculpatory evidence included. And then they keep so much allegedly from the jury, and then they expect the jury, after they've rigged up the jury, most of the juries be all white tea. It's not a diverse jury of your peers, of your age bracket, none of that. That's your illusion of what you think happens at trial, but that's not what happened at trial. And then they don't give them all that they need to make a sound verdict. That's cutting holes in your map. And then people say, well, you were convicted, so you had to have done it. Well, you don't realize what the trial process really is. It's not as fair as you think, allegedly.
It's the wrong person. He had pictures of him.
People be telling you from the beginning, and people refuse to listen to them.
ATM with the PIN number that he put in, and they still put this black man in
Thank you
prison
for saying that.
for 16 and a half years.
And to be honest, I covered wrongful convictions. That's a short wrongful conviction, 16 and a half years. Though it sounds like a lot, 10 years is the shortest. You got Kevin Strickland, 42 years. And I just covered two cousins. I can't remember their names right off rip, but I can link their stories in the description box. I just covered them from Illinois. They were also 42 years. So now the longest sentences, they were the longest two incarcerated in the state of Illinois. So now the longest two that I know of are Kevin Strickland and the two guys from Illinois that were just basically exonerated of all charges and basically let go because before they were pardoned. You also have those, Marcellus Williams. Allegedly, he was wrongfully incarcerated, and they deleted him before he can have his newly discovered evidence seen. And then you got those in the Malcolm X case. They had some that were actually exonerated, and some were alive. I think it was two. I can't remember the numbers. And then there were some after AD. They were exonerated after AD. Like, literally. And people tell you from the beginning, it takes so long because of the friction that others put on the situation. It's just so unbelievable to them, and it happens all the time, though. Like, y'all should start believing it. Start listening. Stop. Oh, everybody's innocent. Oh, everybody. Oh, don't do the crime. Don't do all that BS. Stop it. We've heard those cliches over and over and over. They're not funny. They never were funny. They never were. But these things that you do is why you're obstructing people from getting their justice. This is why. This is why it takes so long. And then when stories are broken, people, oh, how did this take so long? Why didn't anybody do anything? Oh, I know they better pay them. I know they better sue. I just really need y'all to open y'all eyes. Please, guys.
And 16 and a half years when everybody was giving up on Leonard. It was his sisters and brothers and his mother, Mary, who never...
It's so hard not to give up, though. Because you know you're in an impossible battle with the wrongful conviction.
Gave up on him. And this is about their day. This is their day because this family has fought so hard.
Yeah, y'all. I pray y'all never have to experience a wrongful conviction. Cause I'm telling you, I'm showing you firsthand the headache and heartache you're gonna go through, and you're gonna go through it alone. Ain't nobody gonna support you. You're gonna be out there on your own. You're gonna be reaching your hand out for help, and people gonna be smacking it down. Get a real life. Do something better with your life. They're gonna be doing that to you. I'm telling you.
They finally got him exonerated.
It's not
and then
easy.
the Florida legislature finally passed a compensation package for him.
Mm.
He had just bought a home in Atlanta, Georgia.
That's the part that get me, because he was trying to get the gel up out of Florida. That's exactly what Marcello said. When he finally do get out them doors, he do not want to be here in Florida. He's from South Carolina. He just came here, like we had that saying, come to Florida on vacation, leave Florida on probation, for real. um, boy, he was trying to get the gel up out of Florida, and this is what happened to him.
Coming back on the
Just
highway
starting his life back
here
over.
and on I-95, Camden County Sheriff's Deputy Buck Aldridge, the person who the Department of Justice indicted on 13 counts, Attorney Daniels? 13 counts.
13 counts. I'm going to back
Of
you
all
up,
kinds
too.
of misconduct and violation of civil rights.
They always ignore and overlook their transgressions. Wrongful convictions start with wrongful arrest, mostly wrongful stops, and then they just cover all the way up. That's how it just goes from level to level wrongfully.
Killed her baby. Killed her baby. You saw the video. And there were other videos that existed of Buck Aldridge engaging in excessive use of force, mainly against black people.
Now tell the truth, shame the devil. That's that audience. Y'all know I tell you about that audience and how this is not to keep you safe, allegedly, like you think it is. It's more about you remember that song, For the Love of Money? People would incarcerate an innocent person for the love of money. Yeah. Allegedly.
And finally, his day has come. You know, some would call it poetic justice. The fact that Buck Aldridge, who killed her son after being wrongfully convicted of 16 and a half years.
That is not the way
Wouldn't it be poetic justice?
that is so sad to finally get out of it. Finally. And you got paid. And they had to pay you back for it. And then this. Like, how? Gosh. And now it's like he would still be alive if he was still wrongfully incarcerated. Possibly. Ugh, that's another thought. That's a horrible thought to think.
He was convicted and got sentenced to 16 and a half years.
Now, he said if the officer that deleted him was sentenced to 16 years, what sweet justice that would be. That's not complete justice, because 16 years is not a long time. We've done 23 years. I did 23 years with my loved one. He got about another 10 to 11, 12 years of his wrongful conviction to complete out. That's not a very long time, right? So he can do that time and still be out and have life left. They give BLK men way more time. Whatever they allege that Lenard cured, because we're going to go through his wrongful conviction actual story, not just the deletion, because I target in on wrongful convictions. So we need to hear his story of why he was incarcerated wrongfully in the first place. But I'm sure it was something less than what the officer did. And for him to get free from his wrongful conviction after 16 years, they had to have sentenced him to, I'm sure they sentenced him to life, most likely. That's why I'm making amends with my husband's wrongful 40-year sentence, because I'm realizing It could have been a wrongful life sentence. So the only saving grace is that we could possibly outlive this wrongful conviction. But for him to get 16 years, and they gave my husband 40 years, being lenient on him, they say, for an alleged robbery of $60. So 16, now, it is justice because of the fact that because of who he is, they don't want to sentence him to 1 day. Because you know where that comes from. They don't want to sentence him to not even 1 day in jail. So if he did get 16, he gonna sit down for a minute, but he's still not getting what a regular person, a regular law-abiding citizen would get if they were accused of something far less. My husband, 40 years for being lenient, because it was supposed to be life, for an alleged robbery of $60, I mean $60. And it's really 80, I mean 60, because the people wrote 80 in their sworn statements, and the officer that pulled him over, once they searched Marcello and found he did not have that amount, he gave the sworn affidavits back to the two and told them to amend it so that it can align. This is how they were able to fit these pieces, make these pieces fit. They, I know people think I'm just saying it because it's about my husband, but it's showing you how they do it. This is how it's done. This is not new. They don't be having new tactics. They do these same things over and over and over and over. That's why all the wrongful convictions, basically, I say you could take the files and just swirl them up in a circle and basically put different names on different files, and they still would sound like the same story. 16 years would not be enough, but when we're talking about people that they really don't ever want to incarcerate, because I told you that target audience is us.
We intend to make sure that his mother and their family get full justice, not just partial justice.
Mm-hmm. Any type of justice. Because they don't want to give you nothing. They want you to just go sit your behind down. Take that injustice and go sit down. Don't you even say it. Don't record no video about it. Don't put no Facebook posts about it. That's why this stuff be blocking you. They don't want to put it. It's funny. Girl, I can't even. Let me leave it alone.
As you all know, Attorney Daniels and I filed a $16 million lawsuit representing every year that he was wrongfully convicted
16 million.
for this police officer, this Camden County Sheriff's deputy, being charged with these these counts. But because he killed him on the side of that road. And we don't want to let them.
And I know I'm going to continue the story, because one, I don't even know if it's recording. Two, I'm tired now because this is like the third video that didn't record, so I could be, But I know people like to tune me out because it sounds, even in my own ears, it sounds like I'm just complaining. I just, and it sounds like I'm begging you guys. It really does. So I hate to, I'm a very independent person, so I hate to beg. I hate to even ask. I hate to even ask for something. Like if I ask you to push my like button, girl, I hate to even ask you to do that. I want to be so independent and not need others, because people make sure that they show you that, hey, I really don't want to help you. I don't even want to lift my finger to help you. Like, not even if it took just that to help. I don't want to do that. And people that I have moved mountains for feel that same way. But the same thing in my husband's case. You see, this officer has a jacket of excessive force. He was doing things he was not supposed to be doing, cutting the corners, not going by protocol. And when you don't stop them at one, it escalates and it goes to the next person. They offend against the next person. You know how they say they got to get the suspect off the street so they don't offend against nobody else? It's the same with them. When they have the wrong person out there doing the wrong thing and they're still on those streets, they're offending person after person after person. So when you don't stop them with the first person, they're able to offend against others. The same officer that falsified the reports in my husband's case, years later, another guy, I have that story too if I can find it, but he put the same jacket of charges basically as my husband. So it feels like all he did was take these sets of charges and threw them on each person that he stops. And they said that he tried to rob, he tried to flee, and they pawed him. Him and four other officers pawed him, and he fell in the drainage ditch. They continued to pow 50 more times. So you powed once, and then you powed 50 more times. When you powed once, you were supposed to, like Taylor House Publishing always says, these are not deletion sentences. They're supposed to take you in and handle it through the courts, like they say, right? Allegedly. How are they able to handle it on the street and then it's justified? The same officer, they all had different stories, all five of them, different stories of why the excessive deletion if they already powed him and he was on the ground. Well, see, that officer allegedly felt like he can get away with that. I put a whole jacket of charges on a man that didn't even do. I made up a whole crime he didn't do. And they backed me all the way up. So you think somebody finna check me now? Who gonna check me, boo? Like, this is why it happens. And it should be showing you guys that it's me today. It could be you tomorrow. Your son, your grandson, your cousin, yourself. And I'm going to end in the rap that I made. And I'm going to just end it here. If it didn't record, I'm going to make peace with it. It just didn't record. It's not meant to. This is not meant for me. What's meant for me is clocking in, hitting that clock, bringing bread to the table to barely bring bread to my table. All right. Hey, what if it were you? And you were up the road and gone for something you didn't do, and it'd be decades before you get back home. Hey, what if it were you that were taken from your kids? Now they life you're missing. Your lucky stars, you better thank them. They cheating in this wicked system. 'Cause Lord knows that it could have been. Yeah, it could have been you. Here's your girl Cadillac. Alright, talk to y'all later.